right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm glad that nobody's watching this. Oh, there we go, Benjamin Milkman. What's up? What's up, guy? I'm taking any requests tonight. Any you might have. Let's see. What do you have? What do you want to hear, Benjamin? What do you want to hear, buddy? Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. What'd you say, Super Mario Brothers? All right, here we go. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How are you guys doing tonight? How is it going? Okay, you like Zelda theme. I could do Zelda. Oops. That's about it for Zelda theme. Stitched, what's up, my man? Xenoblade main theme. Did somebody say Super Mario Brothers? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Here we go. Stitched. What's up, man? I remember when Mario saw Fioria die. He was pissed. Yeah, I remember that part in Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, it was interesting. All right, let's see what's next. No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. All right, let's see. I can do one more. I gotta change it here. That sounds good. Oh no! Oops. Here we go. Oops. There we go. What's up, man? What's up, Freeform? You were just watching Star Trek and happened to see this go live. Cool, cool, Stitched. Am I going to play a game tonight? I don't know, man. I think I might just hang out and talk to you guys tonight. Rock out with my dock out. I should have said that. Beat me up, Scotty. Y'all want to hear some Star Trek? All right, here we go. Some Star Trek. Yeah, it's one of the easiest ones too to learn. Let's see. I'll put. How about the switch sails, huh? Pretty cool, man. I gotta say, it's pretty cool. I know this one. I know part of it. Let's see if I can remember it. Something like that. Kirby! Stitch says he'd like to learn how to play, but I couldn't even do it with the piano from the Dummies book. Dude, I suck at this, man. And I've tried a lot. So if I could do it, if I could play a couple songs, I'm sure you could play way more than I can. Let's see. Ooh, that's a good one. No, but I really like, what is it, like 100 and... Is this one? Oh, yes. Here we go. Alright, I'm just going to do the Song of Storms again. Because that's like the one I could do the best. Here we go. Oh, and I got lost. Lost. I lost it. Switch to PC. What is up, man? Benjamin Milkman says, I used to know how to play underwear level in Mario. I don't recall an underwear level. What type of Mario were you playing? No, I know what you're saying. The underwater level. That's actually a really cool song. I should probably try to learn that because I really do enjoy that. But it's been a long time since. McJangles, what's up, man? Switch to PC. Oh, Stitch. He was lurking in your Smash stream. Underwater, you meant. Or was it Splatoon? Hi. Oh, there we go. So, Switch sells doing so well just proves that OG games are still in the game for the win. Man, I gotta tell you. That makes me... Oh, by the way, I'm taking all kind of requests. What do you guys want to hear tonight? Anything. I'll play anything. Let me know what you guys want to hear. And I'll play it. I'm telling you. So, let me get my Fallout cup here. Donkey Kong. X-Files theme. All right. First, we're going to do Donkey Kong. All right, here we go. Donkey Kong. Hold on, I'm doing Donkey Kong. There you go. That's the theme of Donkey Kong. All right. Let's see. All right. What else? What do you guys want to hear? Bloody Tears. All right. All right. Keep it PG, man. There's kids watching. All right. Bloody Tears. Bloody Tears. Here we go. Bloody Tears. Yeah. There you go. That's Bloody Tears. All right. Stairway to Heaven. All right. Here we go. Stairway to Heaven. I like this part. Stairway to Heaven, guys. All right. So, what's going on what's going on with everybody? How's it going? I think it's kind of funny how we had all these people saying that the Switch was going to fail back a couple years ago. I remember there was a lot of people saying that there was going to be DOA. Oh man, those days, and I never thought that. I was a little bit surprised that Nintendo came out with a hybrid. I really did think that they would try to compete. That was before, especially with all the rumors of AMD and all that. And yeah. Oh, I did too. Benjamin Milkman says that he wanted it on day one. Oh, me too, man. Like even though it wasn't what I expected it, I said this is still going to be amazing. It's still going to be an amazing console. To have the same graphics of something like even a 7th generation, which it's not. It's stronger than 7th generation. But to have the same graphics as something like that, in portable, in a handheld, that was amazing in itself. Day one, when you first turn it on and you're playing a game as big as Breath of the Wild on that little screen, you realize this is new. This is the newer technology. This is a new step. It's like going from from PS2 to PS3 or Xbox to the OG Xbox to Xbox 360. It was that same kind of like feeling of this is the new generation. Stitch said his night is ruined and his disappointment is immeasurable. Switch to PC says apparently Nintendo is always on the verge of going under. Oh yeah, of course. Hey, do you guys want to get on? You guys want to actually speak? You guys want to get on? Give me 1 second. Oh, I just noticed this microphone just looks like it's just hanging in the middle of the stage here. Oh, my hand got cut off. Ah! It's a vacuum to another dimension. Do you guys want to? What is that? I never remember the name of Discord. Never, dude. Never. Here we go. Create instant invite. See, this link never to expire. All right. Let's talk, guys. Get on the Discord, man. let's have a conversation with my big goofy headset now. Thanks for that. Now I look like a DJ in a club. All right, you guys are getting on. Cool. In the meantime, what do you guys want to hear? Anything. Oh, did someone say something earlier? Let's see. What do they want to hear? Stairway to Heaven. Oh, here we go. Stairway to Heaven. Here it goes. Did I already play that? That's okay. I'll play it again. I love that. I love that song. There you go. Stairway to Heaven, guys. Super Mario. I don't know that, man. I wish I could help you there. I'll see you later, Rickroll. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Is anybody getting in on this? Oh, here we go. Skate's Finest is in here. What is up? What is up, my friend? Switch to PCs on here. Let's see. You guys have do you guys even have mics? Later, Benji. Is it okay if I call you Benji? He's like, don't call me that again, or I will destroy you. All right. Let's see. What else do I know? Oh, here we go. Well, I don't really know it, but I'm trying to learn it. There it is.
Yo, what's up, Coloco? Everybody else in the chat?
What is going on, man? Who's this? Skates.
Skate's Finest here, brother.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Just rocking out with my dock out.
Wait, we got two switched to PCs?
My bad.
Are you a clone? Did you clone yourself?
Possibly. No, I joined on the website.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, yours like double.
Yeah, and it kept coming up. Keeps coming up. Its email address is claimed.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me? Can you talk or? I muted one of you. I think I muted the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Switch. Okay, there we go. Awesome. We got everybody here. The gang's all here.
Yeah, so going back to what somebody said in your chat about wanting the Nintendo Switch since like day one. Do you guys remember when the Switch was first revealed in January and Super Metal Dave and OJ did like a live stream together?
Oh, the salty face Dave? That was great.
Yeah, I remember like after that, like Super Metal Dave took like this long hiatus from like doing YouTube videos, and I think he did a video explaining that he wasn't going to be around, and somewhere in the video I swear he said that that he was actually a Nintendo hater, but I can't find that video anywhere, and I was wondering if anybody remembers that.
No, I don't remember that, but it doesn't surprise me. Um, it's like, look, man. It's like if the reason why you're a Nintendo fan is because you love the Super Nintendo, right? And you want that and only that. Then you're not a Nintendo fan. You are a Super Nintendo fan. That's it. You are a SNES fan, and the SNES, and this is what a lot of people they all say. Well, the SNES when it came out, it had everything. It had the power. It had it was the most powerful console at the time. It's like, well, yeah, obviously, the Genesis came out 2 years before it did, so obviously it was more powerful than the Genesis. They couldn't risk not making it as powerful as the Genesis. They got away with it with the NES. The NES could have actually been 16-bit. That's what a lot of people don't know. The NES, that technology was around at that time to make it 16-bit. It was just a little bit too expensive for what Nintendo wanted to make the price point for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. But that technology existed.
Been like that.
Yeah, they've always been that way. They've always catered to the family. They've always tried to cater to getting their product in as many households as possible, not a premium product in the sense of like not high quality, but in a premium in a price sense. They've never done that. They've never shot for that. It's always been just a entertainment system that it's for the typical family that they can afford. That's what they've always shot for. So wanting anything different is wanting. Whoa.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. I'm at work. I just went to the office, and that was the alarm.
Oh,
alarm
okay.
System. I turned it off real quick. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. So they've all anybody that doesn't want that, they just don't want what Nintendo is. And if you don't want what Nintendo is, then I don't understand why you're a Nintendo fan. If you like the IP for what the IP is, then just like that. But to want a PS4 with just a Nintendo label on it, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know?
Absolutely.
Is clocked in here? Because I can't or switched. Are you in here? Let's see. Can you hear me switched? I think I might have muted the wrong switch to PC.
I can hear you.
Oh, now. Okay. I couldn't hear you until now because I muted the wrong one. You had two of them on here.
Oh, right.
And
yeah, I got you. I got
okay.
it.
Were you saying anything earlier and maybe you were muted?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was listening to you.
Okay. Yeah, but it just goes to show, man. Everybody was so wrong about this. So wrong about the system. Even I didn't think it would be this successful. I don't think anybody. I mean, Nintendo didn't think it would be this successful. They really didn't. They said that they were shooting for, what was it? The first year sales they were shooting for 8 million. Is that correct? Wasn't it 8 million? And they turned out to have to do double that as far as producing.
No, I thought it was. Well, it might have been. No, I thought it was 10 million.
Yeah. 8 million, including the initial shipment, right? The initial 2.74 million or whatnot. And then they said they wanted to produce 8 million Switch units for the first year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it turned out that they had to produce double that amount. So that just goes to show you that not even Nintendo themselves thought that this would be that successful. You know, if they did, they wouldn't have undershot their projection for making Switches. So it's kind of.
I don't blame them after the Wii U. I mean, I don't blame that mentality at all.
Yeah, for sure. They couldn't risk having a ton of.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, when they first revealed it, I mean, I've been Nintendo since they started. 1983? I was 13, and when I first saw it, it was like, what is this? But then, afterwards, watching that advert and the first reveal a few times, it's like, it makes sense. What is Nintendo's strongest market? Their handheld. So you could see they've combined their handheld with a home console. It's a win-win. Did I think it would be this successful? No, and I'm not going to say that I did. I'm not going to be one of those, yeah, I always knew it was going to be, because I didn't. I didn't think it would sell this well, but kudos to Nintendo. They, they played to their strengths. It's a handheld and its home console. So, yeah, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon and say, yeah, I was always on board with it, because when I first saw it, I wasn't convinced.
And that's the thing, like,
Well,
go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, well, let me tell you guys, I got Switch day one. The first time that I booted up Breath of the Wild on the Switch, and I did it in both dock and handheld, because I had to try everything out right away. The first time that I booted up Breath of the Wild, and then I later took my Switch on the road with me because if anybody doesn't know, I'm a professional truck driver. It's what I do for a living, so I'm on the road a lot more than I'm at home. But the moment I took Breath of the Wild with me on the road, I knew that this was the future of gaming. Like, I don't see how consoles going forward can only be a stay-at-home console from now on. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree with you.
It was so liberating.
It is, and I agree with you. Like, I still have not bought into this generation. I'm about to, only because we need basically like another Blu-ray player, and my wife wants to play Sims 4, so I'm gonna have to get. I was waiting to see if maybe they would port that over, which is stupid to me. How that game's not ported over to the to a Nintendo system of all everything. But
yep.
I guess I'm gonna have to buy in, but I don't see myself buying into the next generation of PlayStation, Xbox at all. Like, no way. Especially now that when the next iteration of the Switch does come, which it's not going to be next year, but the next actual iteration, the Switch 2 or what you call it, that's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, I think that leap right there is going to be, it's going to blow us all away again. It's going to be maybe it's not anytime soon, but when it does come, it's going to be like 4K gaming in the palm of your hand, whenever that does show up. But I think that's going to be the next jump, and what's the point of having a home console then, Trizzy says, damn, lost connection. Sorry, guys. And wait 1 second. Freeform cannot join the chat. Well, you're in the chat right now. Or you were in the chat. All you had, it must have been your mic, man. You must be muted. Don't you have to unmute yourself on Discord first or something like that? I'm not too big on Discord. Like, I don't know a whole lot of it, but I'm pretty sure you have to like mess with your microphone settings.
Yeah, you have to go into settings under audio and make sure that the input is set to whatever you want and the output is set to whatever you want to use.
Yeah. Real quick, let me just read a Stitch and Freeformer saying, and then we'll get to you, Switch. I take my Switch with me every time I have to take my brother anywhere. Chill in the car and play while he's in the store or whatever. It's amazing for that stuff like that, man. And Freeform says the Xbox is becoming way too convoluted and lost focus on what matters most. I can't disagree with you, man. I can't. But go ahead, Switch. What were you gonna say?
Like you were talking about the next iteration of the Switch, and I mean, there's like the usual suspect on YouTube. He was mentioned earlier, who's been making videos about, there's going to be a much more powerful Switch coming out next year. In actual, there's already a more powerful Switch out, and it's what the developers have. Nintendo deliberately dialed back the clock speeds on the Switch. Developers have a Switch that's got 8 gigs of RAM, and the CPU and the GPU haven't been clocked back. It runs at 1.2 terabytes. So it wouldn't surprise me if they are actually releasing a refined Switch next year. If that is what we get, all they have to do is find a better way of cooling it slightly, and you've got a Switch with 8 gigs of RAM, 1.2 teraflops if you want to talk about power.
That's pretty close to an Xbox One S, right?
Yep, it's almost on par with the Xbox One, because if you're talking about the next gen of Switch, if they stay with Nvidia, which apparently according to Nintendo it was a 10-year partnership, according to the CEO of Nvidia, he said up to a 20-year partnership. The next SoC that Nvidia has is Xavier, which at the moment that's way too expensive. You're talking about $2,500 per chip.
Yeah,
so,
and we don't know what
yeah.
what the power is it? I think there's on Wikipedia you could see the teraflops of each one. I know I looked it up before, but let me look it up.
Xavier, in terms of power, CPU wise, it blows the PS4 Pro out of the water. GPU, I'm not sure.
The GPU is 1300, just a straight 1300. Because I know some of them will fluctuate, right? But
Yep.
Xavier is a straight 1300. But like you said, it's not all about the teraflops.
No, of course it's not. But like I said, next year, it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo, if that's what they release, exactly what devs have been using since the beginning, a non-dialed back X1, and with the 8 gigs of RAM, which would almost double the power of the Switch that we have now.
That's actually brilliant. I didn't even think of that, because you're right.
And
that was already that. Oh man,
do you remember the Foxconn leak?
Yes,
before
of course.
the Switch came out, everything that leak had has come true. They said there were 2 switches. They even got the exact measurements of the diameters of the switch, the joy, everything. And the second switch they were talking about was that developer one. And no one mentions that. Developers have been using it since before the Switch even launched. And
right.
Like I say, it wouldn't surprise me. It would be the easiest option, I guess.
Now, there is a picture of that supposed developer one. And it has like, hold on a second. The Switch dev kit. And it has almost like it looks just like the Switch. I'm sure you've seen it before. If you just Google Switch dev kit, and you'll see it looks just like the Switch, except it's like double the thickness in the back of it. And if that's the case, I would not mind that. Like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, it might be a little bit heavier, you know?
Yeah, I'd be, I'm sure they could do some sort of slight redesign. They probably would have to, because the cooling system inside the Switch at the moment, I mean, some people have tried getting the Switch to overheat, and that is really hard. Some, people are saying, oh, the Switch overheats really, really quickly. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And it won't just burn out. The Switch, if it gets too hot, it actually switches itself off until it's cooled down enough.
Yeah,
I'm looking at...
Spawnwave did that. He tried to test it, tried to get it to overheat. Yeah.
And the only way you could actually get it to shut down was wrapping it up in a towel a couple of times, wrapped it right round, left it on, and eventually it just switched itself off. Forgive the pun, switch, brilliant. So it didn't just blow up or whatever, melt. It's got built into it. It switches itself off until it's cooled down enough. So a slight redesign, put a better cooling system in there, and I'd be fine with that. I'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. That's why, but I don't believe this whole. One thing I will not like, if there is a Switch that's coming that is let's say what we're talking about Pro, not what everybody else is talking about, what you're saying, that it's just the same Tegra X1, that it's not clock back, that it's just and that there's 8 gigabytes of RAM. One thing I don't want to see is this game only runs on this Switch. That I do not like. I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see that. I don't think Nintendo's going to do that, because the momentum they have going now, there's too many Nintendo fans that stopped being Nintendo fans during the Wii and Wii U era, and to come back and buy into a Switch only to be told a few months later or a year later, hey, by the way, there's a brand new Switch out. That'll be a
Well,
slap
I
in the
don't
face
see
of
them.
every one of them.
I don't see them not doing it in general. Maybe later on down in the Switch's life cycle, but I don't see them doing it this early in the Switch's life.
Yeah, me
You know, they
neither.
did it with the 3DS, but that was like towards the end of the 3DS's life. You know,
But,
so it
but
didn't really matter.
this is the thing though. We're all assuming that they already have a chosen date. But what if they're just looking at the market? Because if you know, if the Switch is selling a lot, it's not really, first of all, they don't need another Switch because this one's flying off the shelves. Second of all, that will only piss off more people. Whereas if, let's say, the Switch starts to dwindle just a bit, let's say, and they could see the slope, they could see, okay, this is the peak. This is where we're going to stop selling as many Switches. Now is a good place to introduce a Switch Pro. What if that's what they're waiting for? You know, because Nintendo, as much as they can plan, they can't foresee the future. No one could. No one could see the success that it's having right now. So maybe they just had this secondary Switch unit just in their back pocket, just to see what'll happen. Maybe if the Switch wasn't selling as well as it was selling now, maybe they would have introduced it by now, or at least you
That
know,
doesn't surprise me at all.
announced it by now. You know, maybe that's all. Maybe that's what they're just looking at the market and they're just playing off of what the market does and what consumers do.
As far as I know, there's like two things that are fueling this Switch Pro or whatever. One is an article by the Wall Street Journal that said Nintendo's looking at a refresh of the Switch to launch next year. The only thing they mentioned was they're looking at redesigning the screen. And the second one is, and even I can't understand this, I've never known any company to do this. Up on Nintendo's own channel, they've now put up 2 videos showing you how to prepare a console for trading, to trade your Switch into a shop, which to me, I don't get.
I get it. I understand why.
Well, they did come out with a couple special editions, so I don't know if maybe that was for people looking to buy the Smash special edition and the Pokemon special edition.
You know what? I never thought
trade
about
their
that.
Switch in.
That actually makes some sense, actually.
Real quick
Yeah.
before McJangle says that he says this. I'm a bit backwards when it comes to the Switch because I never play it portable. Really, when a stronger Switch comes out, it'll probably just be the same with me. Okay, well that's the beauty of it. You could play it whatever suits your play style more. So I see what you're saying. It won't make a difference for you because you're playing it more home console either way. To me, the reason why they put that video is, yes, there were some special editions, but also the Switch. I take care of my Switch, man, and it was beat up. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I had to turn mine in to GameStop and get a new one because the Switch itself was cracked. The Joy-Cons were drifting. They wouldn't slide into they would slide off of the Switch. And it's not just me. A lot of people were having this trouble with problems with the Switch. And it's because you can only plan so much. As Nintendo, they can only test it so much. Even if they bring in 100 testers and they test the Switch for hours and hours, it won't matter. It's not the same as if just start 1 million plus people start playing it. That's when you really start to see it, the system itself, the integrity of it. That's when you really start to see it tested, and that's when you start to see the faults of it. So to me, they put that video out there because they knew a lot of people. There were special editions. They knew a lot of people like me wanted to just get a brand new Switch for whatever reason. Maybe a secondary Switch, or maybe just one to replace their busted one, because it's a problem that was happening to a lot of people. Anybody that I know that owns a Switch had some kind of issue with their Switch.
Oh, I've got damage on the top of my Switch near the vents, and there's a chunk missing out somewhere in the corner. I thought my daughter had dropped my Switch, and I gave her a lecture on taking care of our things. And then I saw Mr. T on Twitter posting like the exact same damage on his Switch that I have on mine.
Did you have to buy your daughter a game or something after that?
I felt horrible. I really did. I apologized to her too, and then I showed her, the pictures from Mrs. T, and I was like, honey, I'm sorry, but I believe you. You didn't drop the Switch. I made it right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. One might look at that and say, look what Nintendo built. What a piece of crap. But it's like you can't. It's like I said before. You can only test it so much. It's not the same when millions and millions of people grab it and really start playing with it.
I have to say though, mine is a day one, and it's in perfect condition. Absolutely perfect condition. Yep, I'll put it up on Twitter if you want me to. It's in perfect condition.
So
there's no cracks.
Do you play?
Anything.
Do you play handheld? Do you play it in handheld?
I do play handheld. I would say I play more docked, but I was even laying on my bed playing Bastion handheld when I loaded up Twitter on my TV, and I saw you'd just gone live, so I quickly put it back in the dock and came to your stream. So yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's in perfect condition. Yep.
Freeform says, yeah, his is day one and it's on its way out. Okay. Oh, he needs to trade his in as well. And McJangle says his is a day one and also is totally fine. But you don't take it out of the dock. You play it mostly dock, McJangles. And Freeform primarily plays it handheld, as do I. I primarily play it handheld because it's so much easier, man. When you have a family and you have people watching TV and you don't want to be antisocial. You don't want to always be cooped up in your room. You want to be with the family. So it's just being in their presence, but still being able to play, and they can watch their stuff, watch their kids shows, and that. It's a beautiful thing, man. It really is.
Just quickly going back to something you said about 10 minutes ago about like the next Switch that comes out. What you don't want is like some developers saying this only works on this Switch, not the original.
Yeah.
And said Nintendo wouldn't allow that. So, say there is a new Switch comes out, and Nintendo says to developers, you've got to make everything work on the OG Switch if you want to release the game. Well, say just using, I couldn't care less, but using Call of Duty as an example, right? Call of Duty for the first time, Activision wants to bring it to the Switch. Okay, I know you told us you want it to work on the original Switch. We tried and tried, but we can't. But it works fine on the new Switch. Do you honestly think Nintendo would say, no, we don't want that on our system at all? Or do you what do you think they'd do?
I think that would be decided upon before they would get to that point. They would say like, you have to make sure you get it running on here, and the devs have to know to a certain extent. They'll let them know and say, look, we probably could, but it would just be too choppy. It just wouldn't look right. I don't think we should do. Maybe we could do something else. Maybe not this Call of Duty, but let's get a special edition Call of Duty or something. But I think that has to be decided before.
Yeah.
Or best case scenario, I think Nintendo would send over some of their developers to help them with whatever they need. Most of the time, it's a compression issue, really.
Yeah, that's true. Or just send Panic Button over.
Yeah,
Panic Button's like,
yeah.
Gosh, they're like the secret agents of game developers, man. Just send them over. They'll take care of it.
They earned it 100%.
On any console, people are surprised about the games that are coming out on the Switch now. But it's the same for any new console. You only start seeing what that console is really capable of in about the second or third year of its lifetime.
Yeah.
Because developers have got used to it. They've learned the tricks. They've developed new engines, and that's when you start seeing what a console can do. So, I mean, Panic Button, what they've done so far. Can you imagine in a year and a half, 2 years, what they'll be able to do, and possibly other developers?
Yeah, I mean, Warframe still is so impressive, and this is close to 2 years after the Switch is released, and you saw a game that impressed you running on the Switch. So that could still happen. You know, like it could, and even Panic Button themselves says they could squeeze a little bit more out of the Switch. They said
Yeah,
it themselves.
yep. I remember hearing them say that. Yep, there's still some like headroom. There's still a little bit of processing power and such forth that we can squeeze out of the Switch, and it's like, really? You know, it's crazy when you think about it. That when it launched, people were saying, you know, there's phones and there's, you know, actual tablets that are more powerful than the Switch. And when you think about it, someone like Apple or Samsung has tablets and phones out there that have got 20, 30, 40, 50 million units sold. Well, if they're as powerful or more powerful than the Switch, why are game developers not putting, say, certain games on those tablets and phones? Yep, I know, touch screen, but you can hook up controllers to them. Because, see, the Switch, people, it has low-level APIs. See, who was it? Digital Foundries, just after the Switch launched, said it's a stock Tegra X1, and they said that because what they did a dye test. They basically took an X-ray of a stock Tegra X1 and the X1 in the Switch and said it looks the same, so it's the stock X1. It's not. It's custom. Nvidia said it's custom. So if you took an X-ray of one model of a car, put it there, took an X-ray of a slightly different version that's got different parts in the engine, to you, they basically look the same because that's what an X-ray shows you. But under the hood, it could be totally different. The engine is configured differently. But it has low-level APIs. It has faster bandwidth between the CPU and the memory. There was a lot that Nvidia and Nintendo did to make that a custom-designed Tegra X1 rather than a stock X1. But people still don't believe Nvidia or Nintendo. They just think Nvidia stuck a Tegra X1 in there and said, there you go.
Yeah, didn't they spend like 500 million in just the R&D for the Switch or something like that? I thought I read that.
Yeah, and Nvidia, I mean, you can only take what they say, so I'm going to believe them. I can't see why they would lie. What was it, 460 man-years of time put into designing this custom X1. So that's however many staff they had, how many hours. Yeah, it worked out to about 460, I think, man-years of time put into it.
McJango says that he actually saw Panic Button Studio this past weekend. He wanted to run up to the door so bad. You should have, bro. Just walk. Yeah. Just run in there as fast as you could. Look, strip down naked like they do in baseball games. That way they won't tackle you quickly. And just run as deep as you can in the office and look to see if what they were doing. And there you go. And then just report back to us.
Definitely.
He was with his girlfriend or dad. Okay, all right. Then you couldn't do that. That's cool. Where's their office at? That's really neat, man. Yeah, they're absolute geniuses over there. I don't know what they're working. Oh, what happened to the today? There was a BioShock announcement, right? What was that? Anybody know? I didn't see what it was.
I haven't heard.
Was it? I was hoping that it was a Switch port of the original BioShock of the trilogy, but I doubt it.
I haven't seen anything, bro.
There was supposedly a BioShock announcement today at 2. Let's see what that was about. Oh, BioShock VR. Great. VR.
Oh, yeah.
Very
BioShock VR.
boring.
Oh, yeah, VR's not for me.
No, not at all. Naked, grease-covered guy runs to the office. Show me your secrets. Y'all can't catch me. Y'all can't catch me. Oh, man. Yeah, so it's just great. It's great to see the Switch do what it's doing right now. And I just 2019 I think is going to be the biggest year yet. It's going to be the biggest year yet. We still a lot of surprises we haven't seen. I saw Emily Rogers say something like that on Reset Era, where she said, "If what you're looking for is something around the lines of if what you're looking for is unannounced games, you won't be disappointed in 2019. So
Sounds
Have
promising.
you, have you took a step back to see just the games we know about coming in 2019? It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It the right now as it is. There you go, McJangles. Jump in. Right now as it stands, it's one of the greatest years for any Nintendo system, and that's without the unannounced titles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think enough people are really talking about that Damon Cross Machina like mech game. I think that's going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, that looks really
Absolutely.
cool.
From the last I saw,
Kind of
it,
gives me like a
I,
Xenogears vibe. Am I the only one?
No,
no, I
no,
can
it's
see
kind
that.
of like yeah, Xenoblade X.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from what I saw so far, it's almost like an exclusive once a month for the whole year at the moment,
Yeah.
which is crazy. That's crazy, and we haven't got all the games announced yet.
That's like a 2017 but on steroids. 2019 is going to be 2017, but just like jacked.
it, it's yeah. I mean,
We got what?
um,
We got what? Luigi's Mansion. We got Animal Crossing. I mean, just those two right there, and Pokemon Generation 8. Just those three games in one year is such a huge deal. But then on top of that, we got Fire Emblem, Yoshi, that home game from Game Freak,
oh, Game Freak, yeah,
uh,
yep. Brand new.
Daemon X Machina, Doom Eternal, Mortal Kombat 11. That's 9. What? Another big one. Dragon Quest 11. What else?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Like that's 11. 11 huge games right there. One a month. That's almost a whole year right there.
Yep.
Travis Strikes Again. I mean, it's a kind of an indie game, but still it's a game that's going to sell a lot,
Yep.
and that Nintendo fans are looking forward to. I'm not even counting like that Mario whatever the Wii U game.
Oh, so yeah, coming out in
I'm not
January.
even counting that.
New Super Mario Bros. U.
Yeah,
That one.
I'm sure people that are buying a Switch that skip the Wii U, I'm sure they're excited for it, but I'm not. I mean, it's
Yeah, I've still got
played
it
that
on my
game.
Wii U. So.
Yeah, and that's without like, we could have a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X next year. That would be so great.
Possibly Metroid Prime 4.
Or possibly
Yeah,
Metroid Prime 4. McJangles.
They
What's
said
up,
they'd
man?
like to do Xeno X.
What's that?
Monolith Soft, just after Xenoblade 2 came out, they said they would love to do a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X for the
Oh,
Switch.
yes. We were talking about that yesterday on Andre's Restart podcast. It'll be so great if they ported that game. Yes, it would be great, but would be fantastic is if they ported that game and added multiplayer in the overworld.
The only
Good.
because on the
man.
Wii U, you've got the map all the time on that second screen.
Yeah,
That's the only thing you'd be sacrificing, because that's why I
Oh.
love that game on the Wii U.
I mostly played that game on the gamepad by itself. I mostly played Xenoblade Chronicles X on the gamepad. I was actually that game is special to me because that was when that came out. What was it? December. When did that game come out? December 10th or something like that,
yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. When that game came out, my son was born only a few days later. So the whole time that I started Xenoblade Chronicles X, I was inside the hospital with my wife waiting for my son to arrive. So to me, that game will forever hold a special place in my heart. I absolutely
sure. Yeah.
love that game. And like I don't care about the whole, because like I said, I mostly played it in the hospital with the gamepad. I played the first like 30 or 40 hours like that. Zilla Stomps, what's up, man? Yeah, Freeform says day one on Xenoblade Chronicles X. So I don't think the map is a big deal, because if you look at any other RPG, to get into the map, you have to get into the pause menu. So that's the only,
true.
and the thing is, like, Yeah, you could use that map and like you could like fast travel with it and stuff like that. But in order to do that, you have to get your eyes off of the big screen. So you can't do it if there's any enemies nearby. You first have to go to somewhere that's safe, and and then do that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I don't really see that. I think the whole Wii U dual screen thing, I think that was a bad idea. The only person that's for is if you guys watch Dragon Ball Z. Tien Shinhan would be perfect for the Wii U dual screen. He's the only guy that would be able to use it because he has one eye up here and two eyes down here. So he can keep one eye on the screen and he can keep two eyes on it. That's the only person that's the Wii U is made for.
Don't bash the Wii. That's one of my favorite systems. Man.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. But for the games and I love the off-screen play, but for the games that made you look at both screens, like Star Fox Zero.
Oh yeah, looking back now, it was an inconvenience, really.
Yeah.
Application.
You know what I almost wonder about the Wii U? If you ever notice any promotional material with the Wii U, they always show like the first-person view of a person, but they're holding the gamepad, but they're holding it like up more towards their eyes and just below the TV, kind of like how like a DS screen is. How you have one screen on top and one screen on bottom, but the difference is they're holding the gamepad up more towards their eyes, and I wonder if that's how Nintendo intended people to play with the Wii U.
Wow.
So you'd almost still have like the dual screen effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but who wants to play like that, man? Like this the whole
not
time.
me.
Nobody. That's the problem.
Nobody wants to play like that.
My arms get tired.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the thing that it's like the Wii. It's like the Wii. You know, for like in that sense, if that's the way they wanted you to play, it kind of reminiscent of the Wii in the sense that they force you to play motion controls. Well, this time they were kind of forcing you to play with the gamepad, although nobody played that way. And I like I said, I still love the gamepad itself. I love it. Like I love the idea of a dual screen, just not forced inside gameplay. Like just let me have it so I could do off-screen gameplay. For menus and stuff like that, that's fine. That's cool. But to focus on both screens at the same time, that was a bad choice, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I agree, too. And, but when it was done well, it was done really well.
Like Nintendo Land.
Zombie U is awesome.
Yeah, Zombie U, Nintendo Land, when it was done well, it was done really well. But also, I kind of think that just the off-screen play in general was so overlooked. Like, I don't think people realized how important that was to a lot of, multifamily households with only like one TV.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, I think a lot. I think they focused on that with the Switch. They saw how that was such a good idea and how people loved that part of it, and they wanted to just focus on that and say, let's just take the whole thing out.
All right, Coco, question for you, right? With Nintendo releasing the Switch, and I'm pretty sure it succeeded even some of Nintendo's wildest dreams, has Nintendo, and the word I'm going to use, don't take it that I'm it's a bad thing, has Nintendo now put themselves into a hole whereby they can never release a dedicated home console again?
Ooh.
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier when I said that this was the future of gaming. And honestly, I don't think that they ever will be able to. I really don't. I really feel like the Switch has taken the shackles off of so many gamers' ankles where you were tied to the couch. And I can only speak for myself, but I can never go back to just having a home console. I don't know how Nintendo will ever do that either.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a point. I have to agree because even gaming on my PC, I'll play a game on there that I really want to play, and then I'll completely step away after I play that game and I'm done with it. And I don't feel the need to go back unless there's another game. But with the Switch, it's like I want it. I just want to turn on the system. I just want to feel it in my hands and I want to play it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the games. It's the actual system that's attractive to pick up and to just play.
Absolutely. Take just one example. Minecraft. Hate the game. I hate the game. I've never bought it on any system. See, within 2 minutes of it launching on the Switch, I'd bought it and was downloading it. That's the Switch for you. Any game, it's like, oh, I hate that game. I hate that game. Oh, what's that? It's on Switch. Oh, going to the eShop. You know, not the eShop. Well, yeah, what it was called. And I'm downloading it, and that's why my library is, well, it's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Nintendo would ever make a dedicated home console again. I'm sure, like, NVIDIA, AMD, and even other manufacturers are scrambling now. Not so much NVIDIA, because they've been doing it for years anyway, but some are scrambling now to invest money in...
Soulja Boy Switch console?
Oh, yeah. That's the future, man. Nintendo's quaking in their boots, mate. But they are scrambling to make advancements in mobile chipsets.
Yo, what's up, Cloudy Mind Gaming? Yeah. And another thing, anyways, to me, I played some indie games on the Wii U, but I wasn't really into indie games as much. Like, I played SteamWorld Dig and maybe like another one, a couple others on the Wii U. But when the Switch dropped, I've never played so many indie games, and I'm actually loving it. Now I absolutely love indie games now, man. I don't know about you guys and if that's changed for you. If the Switch has changed your outlook on indie games, or if you played it before, you know, if you played a lot of them before.
Same here, actually. You know, just because of the portable nature of the Switch, you know, it makes those games, like, those are great games for traveling, I think. So, and I think that's really helped, you know, shape my opinion for indie games, because I'm like you, I wasn't really into indie games, really, to be honest with you. But now if I'm on a trip or on the road or somewhere away from home, those are great games to just drop in and drop out of.
Yeah. I've always played indie games too, but it's usually on the PC, but I'd actually end up just buying it again on Switch for the ones that came over to Switch. But I still play the ones that aren't on my PC, but it's just so much easier for me to play it on the Switch. I like it a lot more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. A lot of independently developed games put, well, AAA doesn't mean anything these days, but supposed AAA games, and the fact that screen is 720, but where the pixels are so condensed, some games on that in handheld look so beautiful.
Hollow Knight.
That screen is nice and bright, colors are vibrant. It really just looks so beautiful. Just to hold it, laying down or relaxing or whatever, it's just so nice. Yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it just gives you also an appreciation for these independent developers, whereas before you would look at stuff like that. I mean, at least my opinion, anyways, in my experience, I would look at games like that and just say, yeah, that's kind of not really important. I mean, I know it's a bad way to look at it, but it's honestly, like, that's the way I look. It's not really that, but now you treat every game like it's almost like I would say like a novel. Each game is something that you go through, you experience, and it just, I don't know, it's great. It's great. Absolutely love it. I absolutely loving all the indies on the Switch. Cloudy Mind says that Shovel Knight on the Wii U was his jam.
A game that's been out a while, and I've got a gaming PC that I'm on now. Never got it on there. Never got it on either of my Xboxes. It came out on the Switch today, Firewatch. And
I love that game.
And man, I haven't finished it yet, but what I've played so far, wow, that game is Campo Santo, the devs. From what I've played so far, that is an awesome game.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yep.
It's the whole. I personally loved the whole experience. From beginning to middle to end, I loved it. I don't know if I don't want to give anything. I'm not trying to give anything away. I don't know if everybody will love the experience. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it's for everyone. However, I personally love that game. Let's see. Stitch says he's been playing indies since WiiWare.
Cool.
And Freeform also picked up Firewatch, and he passed it up on the PC and Xbox. From what I played, from what I've seen anyway, it doesn't really look that much different from the PC version. I don't know. That's just me.
It runs well. It looks nice. It from what I know and from what I've played so far, it's a novel. You're playing a book. It's telling a story. But it's just, from what I played, it's just done so well, really well.
Yeah, and from what I understand, you could play it over and over again and choose different, completely different. There's a very small game that came out on the Switch. I think was it last year? Maybe it was this year, called Subsurface Circular. Did you guys ever play that game? It was very cheap. It was like $5.
No.
It's a very small. It's like basically it's just a story game, kind of like you guys played Mass Effect. How you make decisions, and off those decisions, like you have consequences or whatever. Imagine a game that's just Mass Effect dialogue basically, and it's very short, $5 or so. The graphics themselves look awesome, very very good looking graphics for such a small game. And the second part is about to release on the eShop, but I highly suggest you pick that up. Subsurface Circular. If you like just story games, and you don't have to invest too much time in it. You could get it done in an hour and a half, 2 hours, but you could play it over again and choose different, make different choices. That's a really cool game as well.
I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, it's still
$5 you said?
$5. Yeah, Stitch says it's still only $5. Let's see. Cloudy My Gaming says, have you guys played Bloodstained Curse of the Moon? I have not, but I hear it's really good. Have you guys played that game?
No.
Yeah.
No, but I've been following it.
Yeah, I hear the music is really good. You could pick between different characters, like in real time, right? Just choose between different characters.
Yeah.
I never played. I remember playing the first Castlevania, but after that, I don't know if you could do that in the ones like in 2 and 3. I know you couldn't do it on the Game Boy Advance games because I played those as well.
I still want to play Celeste.
You haven't played it, or you?
I've been waiting and hoping that they're coming out with the physical version, and now that Limited Run Games is doing it, then that's when I'll finally be able to play it.
Man.
Because I'm like a really diehard physical guy, especially with indie games. I love being able to buy indie games physically, so
yeah,
that's why I've waited a lot on pretty much everything. Like, I bought Overcooked digitally when it came out, and then that came out with the physical edition, so I was mad about that. But I mean, it's a good game, so I don't mind buying it twice. And I did the same thing with Golf Story. I bought that game.
That's such a great game.
I never even played it.
Is that still exclusive to Switch? Golf Story?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good game.
Yeah, I never even played it because like a week after I bought it, and they announced like Limited Run's doing a physical version of that. So I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I waited.
That's how they get you, man.
And I really waited with Shovel Knight because I'm like, why isn't Shovel Knight coming out with a physical? This game's been out like on everything, and it has physical releases for everything. So I just waited forever, and then now it's finally coming in April. But I still think that's.
I guess they're waiting for the last DLC, right, to release the physical.
That and the amiibo.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they're doing an amiibo. Yeah.
Wait, they have a Shovel Knight amiibo. They're bringing out another one.
The 3 other knights.
Oh, the 3. Oh, that's right. Okay. How come Golf Story doesn't have an amiibo? We need an amiibo of that little guy. Or a Celeste amiibo. Let's go.
That'd be cool.
Freeform is the biggest Dandara fan. You're such a fan of that game, man. It's a really good game. It's good. It has a very unique art style. It's a Metroidvania. Very unique art style, very unique way of moving around. I can't really think of. Think of like Bust a Groove. Remember those games where you have to pop bubbles?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
you had that little needle that went like that. Imagine like your platforming is that. So your little dude or a girl, or whatever. She that's how you aim her, and then you just shoot around the level. That's all you do. That's how you move around. And it's really cool. It's incredible. However, I found it very difficult. I got to a point where I was kind of just stuck, and I don't like looking up any information. And once I start doing that and just get stuck and just wander around for a couple hours with any game, it just kind of turns me off from the game. But I did put a lot of time into it, maybe it's something I just slightly overlooked. But it's a very awesome game.
That happened to me with Celeste. I got to a certain level, and I just couldn't do it. I tried and tried and tried. In the end, no. Obviously, where I'm getting old now, my reflexes are nowhere near good enough, and I stopped playing it, which is really annoying because it's such a good game.
Well, I'm scared.
Oh, dude, you will be scared. Yeah, you should be scared. I died over 3,000 times, I think. 3,000, I think. It's either 3 or 5,000, my death total. That's a big disparity, but it's still awesome. Like it's incredible.
But that's what I hate. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna like it so much, then I'm gonna get stuck, and I'm just gonna like it, but I'm just gonna stay at the same level forever and just never come back to it and beat it.
But it's like such a positive game. It's a game about consistently failing, and even then, it's so positive. It's just a message behind it, and it just tells you, basically, just to keep going. Put your head up and just keep going. You can make it. You could do it. You know, and it just motivates you to just keep dying, because that's what you're doing in the game is constantly dying.
So it's like Super Meat Boy, but positive.
But positive, yeah. Because I heard Super Meat Boy is like kicks you while you're down.
Have you ever played The End Is Nigh?
No.
It's made. I think it was made by the people that made Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac. And it's basically kind of still like a platformer like that, like Celeste and stuff, and it's like really hard, but quite the opposite. It looked very depressing.
Yeah, the Dark Souls of platformers.
I mean, Celeste tells a story about depression.
Yeah, and mental health. Yeah.
That's
why I want to give it a shot. I don't finish it, but.
Okay. Did Celeste win the Game Awards? Was that Celeste that won the game most impact or whatever that category was?
Yes. Yep.
Did it win Indie Game of the Year? Who won Indie Game of the Year? Celeste, right?
Won Indie Game.
Yeah.
It won Indie Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were saying, oh, they just put Celeste in there just to be nice to independent developers. It's not going to win anything, but it did. So. Yeah,
and best action game was Dead Cells, which it was against like Destiny 2 and like Call of Duty, right? That. Like, that's awesome.
Do you remember all that? Wait, how could you forget all that controversy with Philip Musin plagiarism?
Oh yeah, Philip Mucinex.
And people were saying, you know, oh, I feel sorry for the developers of Dead Cells now. And I'm like, are you joking me? This is the best publicity.
Best thing that could have happened to him. Best thing that could have happened to him.
I bet the sales skyrocketed. No wonder they were coming out. They weren't saying anything because they were just watching their bank balance go up and up. And up.
No, this is what happened. The morning of that news broke, the guy walked in the office. And he's like, "Guess what, guys? Philip Musin, he stole someone's review," and everybody was like, "Yeah!" Everybody's like throwing party. Champagne bottles started popping. It started just went crazy.
Philip Mucinex at the beginning?
Philip Mucinex, yeah. He's like, Cloudy Mind loved Grateful Explosion Machine. And Freeform said, speaking of the message, who's played the Messenger? That's a good transition, buddy.
I want to play that really bad.
I'm really
hoping for physical, please.
It's good. It's good. It's really good. What can I say?
It combines 8-bit and 16-bit.
I do love that. I love the music. The music is incredible in that game. I don't know what it was about that game that I wasn't feeling the same thing everybody else was feeling about it. I think it's a great game. I think it's a great game. But there's a lot of great games on the Switch. I don't think it deserves something over Celeste. You know, like it's a really great game. But some people are saying like, oh, this is like the most amazing game. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. It's worth your time for sure. 100% worth your time.
it's not the most amazing, but it's definitely worth the money they're asking for it. And if you're into that sort of game, you should enjoy it.
I felt the one thing I did feel like they didn't. It was very short. You know, it's abrupt. It ends abruptly. Like I didn't feel like they pushed me to what they could have pushed me as far as, and I'm not great at platformers, and that's saying a lot. I felt they didn't push me, and I'm not great at platformers. You know, where Celeste, it's like I wasn't expecting that level of difficulty, but I wanted to. They give you all these cool moves towards the end of the game, and they don't use them. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't. That's why I was waiting to review it, because they were supposed to release like some post game stuff, and that's what I was waiting for, like a challenge levels where it was just a bunch of levels where they have you use those cool powers that you get towards the end of the game in different and unique ways. That's what I was waiting for, and it just kind of like never happened.
Yeah, it's not the hardest game, and like you said, they give you like all these different moves, but the latter stages, the levels don't get that much harder.
Yeah.
For those new moves.
It was kind of weird, right?
Really have to use them. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, definitely. But I still enjoyed it. It was a good game.
Yeah, the messenger is funny. You know, it is. I really like that little guy that kept telling you the stories. The shopkeeper. That was really good. It was actually really, made me laugh out loud a few times. Stitch says, isn't Tabitha saying he wants Tabitha? He wants to make indie games with the studio he's starting. Oh, I didn't hear about that. Cloudy Mind saying he's stuck with Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Chat.
Guy. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he opens his new studio, goes live in January. What's it called? It's got a G in it. I know that. I can't remember what it's called.
An indie studio?
I
never heard anything about that.
I didn't hear. All I heard was, like when he left Square, he said he'd like to continue gaming, and because he's got a lot of ideas. And then the last thing I've heard is, he's created this studio, got a G in the name. I can't remember it for the life of me. But they go live in January. That's when they're going to start on whatever project is their first project.
Did y'all hear about the reason why he left Square Enix and Final Fantasy 2?
No.
I saw a Dreamcast guy post about it today. He's saying that on some live stream Tabata was on, he was talking about how like he was working like 80 to 100-hour weeks, like for months and months and months when it came to making Final Fantasy 15 and then the DLC, and that's why he kind of got to the point where he just got burnt out on it, and he couldn't see his daughter or something, and she was worried about him, and so he just had to like step away from the whole thing.
Wow. I remember hearing that.
And so that's why all the new DLC things got canceled except that one episode, and that's why he just totally stepped away.
That's crazy.
And that's saying a lot, because like Japanese culture, you work for one company, you stay there.
Yep.
You know.
And you never hear about burnout from Japanese developers, really. That's an American thing.
Usually. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel that's part of kind of just the mismanagement of Square Enix for the longest time now. You know, everything about them. It's like personally speaking, I haven't seen anything from them that's excited me other than like the Switch ports in a long time. I mean, Final Fantasy 13, the whole series to me was way too convoluted. Like it was fun to play, but way too convoluted. I never got into 14 or 11, the online games, and 15 to me, I don't know. Nothing about it calls attention. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I'm not excited.
Kingdom Hearts with how they for as long as it freaking took for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out, because I love that series, and after seeing like delay after delay, and just with all Square games, like how long it takes or how much problems it has when a game is coming out, it's like, oh my god, I hope they don't cancel this.
I just hope that was a placeholder voice actor for Sora. Was that a placeholder voice? Please tell me that was a placeholder voice actor for Sora.
For what?
For the trailers that we saw.
The latest one?
Yeah, like, well, I don't know. I haven't seen the latest one, but the trailers that have been out so far, and it's been his voice. Absolutely terrible. I mean,
it's the same voice actor. I don't know if like the lines are gonna like if it's just placeholder like line, but it is the voice actor.
Because it was originally was the kid from The Sixth Sense, right?
It's still him.
It's still him.
He's been doing it for so long that like, he's grown up with like Sora's basically grown up with him because the first game it was him, but you know he was a kid, so he sounded like that. And then by the time the second game came out, his puberty came out too, and so that's when his voice started changing.
Goofy,
So
I need you to heal me.
Level. It's been at that level ever since, basically. So he hasn't.
Kingdom Hearts. We're talking about Kingdom Hearts Freeform. I never played I Am Setsuna, Cloudy Mind. I never got into it. I heard it was like Chrono Trigger, but not as good, and it was all set in like in a snow place, so I didn't really call my attention.
Yeah.
But what's one game that y'all want ported to Switch from another platform?
Cool.
Any game. What would it be?
Borderlands.
Even if it's unrealistic.
Borderlands. Borderlands, 100% Borderlands.
All of them?
All of them. The Handsome Jack collection. I would love the Handsome Jack collection. I would play them all over again. They're so much fun.
That would be cool. I like the first Borderlands, but all my friends just kind of fell off of it after that, so I never got to 2.
Stitch says Knack and Knack 2. All right.
BioShock, yeah. Well,
yeah, BioShock would be nice.
The announcement we were talking about earlier, but yeah, so maybe one or all of the BioShock games. That'd be good. But
That'd be cool.
Going back to what you were talking about, Square Enix and what's his name leaving because of the crunch. I remember when Rockstar came out just after Red Dead launched, and they were talking about, about a couple of months before the game launched, people were working 80, 100-hour weeks, and there were some YouTubers coming out making videos and even on Twitter saying, "But that's normal, the crunch, the burn." And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not normal. That's bad time management. That's bad resource. If you have to, at the end of a project, the last couple of months, put in 100, 120-hour weeks, that's bad management. You haven't calculated for the length of development time and made allowances. No one should have to all of a sudden go from 50-hour weeks to 100, 120-hour weeks, working all through the night and stuff like that. But people say, it's normal. Everyone does that in the games industry. Well, that's not normal.
That's not good.
Yeah, if you have to force, if like half of your employees are okay with it, but half of your employees aren't okay with it, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not okay because maybe half of those employees don't have a family, or you know what I'm saying, or have circumstances where that doesn't affect them, where the other half it does. So and they're forced to do that because if you're working in the video game industry, it's super competitive. So they're like, hey, we got like 20 people right behind you that just came out of college for what you're doing, and they'll do it for half the price. So you better do what we tell you to do.
If you're not prepared to work 100 hours this week, there's the door. Do you know what I mean? So they basically have to do it.
And I think the problem is that either sometimes the developers they set too high of like a bar for the game they want to make, or they have like too much ambition, I guess, for the game at the start. And so once they get later on to that point where it's closer to trying to finish it, then because no matter what you're doing, sometimes you have to meet deadlines and work a little extra harder, but not that much. And I think when they get to that later point, it's like they have to do all that crunch because they're trying to meet their expectations and the ambitions they have for the game. And then, sometimes it pays off and the game's really great, and then other times the game's kind of like Mass Effect Andromeda, and then all that stuff comes out to the light.
And people are crab walkers. That's what you get.
Yeah. And it really just depends on the studio, and how they manage their time and what kind of goals they set. With Red Dead Redemption 2, they've had like 7 freaking years to make the thing, and it was still a crunch. They still had thousands of people on it, and then but the game came out incredible for the most part. I'm surprised it didn't win Game of the Year, but it was still a really good game.
It should have won Soundtrack of the Year, that's for sure. Or no. Octopath Traveler should have won that.
Game was almost worth it, but they still probably could have managed it a whole lot better.
Yep. Like you said, they had, what, over 7 years, and they still had to have a crunch at the end? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Because I read a long article about the whole situation with, like, their crunch and development. Because, I mean, they had, like, I don't know exactly the number, like 10 studios across the world or more than that probably that Rockstar has working on this game. And, like, some people said, like, yeah, the crunch was like that and it was really, really bad. And then others were like, it wasn't that bad, and it really just depended on where the studio was and, like, what department they were in.
And like, if you think about it, it's like, if what you want is overtime, right? And it doesn't affect your personal life, and you actually want to just work more, and you have people in the same company complaining about it, I'm sorry, but there's gonna be people that are brown nosers, like, and they're gonna say, like, no, I love this. What are they talking about? No, it's great. You know what I mean? There's brown nosed people that are just trying to make, oh, look, the company, I'm defending your honor, Rockstar.
And that's part of what was in the article. I think it was Jason Schreier that did that whole write-up on that, and that was, like, kind of like the attitude that a lot of the, like, higher ups had. It's like you should want to put in overtime. You should, like, you want to be there if, you know, Dan Houser or Sam Houser, like the CEOs, like the top guys, like, walks into that studio and, like, sees you working, like, you want to do that. Like, if you don't, or if you leave early, or if you don't want to have overtime, then it's like you get dirty looks, or it's like you just crapped in everybody's cereal. I'm like, why did you do that? And that's a bad mentality to have when it's like, if overtime is normal, then what's the overtime of that overtime? You know? Like, to them, you just live there every day.
Right.
Yep. Crazy.
Well, man, I hate to stop this, but I have to go pick up my wife. I didn't think that I would do this long, but I'm having. If I didn't have to go do this, I would literally just stream for another hour and a half. But I can't. I actually have to go. Trizzy now says, "Hey, Coloco, duty calls. I have to leave unexpectedly. Apologize, but have fun." Thank you so much too, man. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining me, everyone that's here. We got to do this more often. You know, what did you guys enjoy this? We could keep doing this. Yeah, we could keep doing this more often. I'll let you guys know. I'm sorry, Freeform. What's that? What's that, McJangles?
I gotta fight you on Smash still.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll play some Smash, man. But hey, guys, everybody, I appreciate it. One more song, everybody. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna stop. All right. All right, guys. Later.
See you later.
See ya. Peace.
Take care.